Christian Leslie here, Wells, Maine. We're doing things a little different today. We're doing what do you say? Selfie. Oh, gotta move my hand. Doing a selfie. I don't know. I just had to do something. I've been quarantined for a couple of weeks. I'm going frickin' cray. So I figured I'd do a quick video. My kids are at home schooling. They don't have time to do any of this stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do a little selfie video. So hopefully you guys get a little excitement about this. I mean, it's like not only is it Corona, but it's raining out. Can't really get outside. The dog's all friggin' relaxed. You know, so I said to myself, what am I going to do today? So I'm like, I'm going to make something out of the fridge. And I don't know what I'm going to make. So I came to my fridge. This is going to be kind of hard. So I came to my fridge. I looked in my fridge. Whole bunch of leftovers. We're staying away from the supermarket. We're like going to the supermarket like once a week. My wife's there right now. So I got a whole bunch of leftovers. What can I make? So I'm looking and I had some ribeye, right? Some moose ribeye that I was marinating. And I'm like, well, I can't just have steak. So what am I going to do? So then I was like, you know what I can do? I can make like a high-end shepherd's pie. Is that even really a thing? Like a high-end shepherd's pie. So anyway, long story short is sorry about the hand again. So I've made some cheesy whipped potatoes. So those are cheesy whipped potatoes. Just, you know, obviously boil some potatoes up, threw some garlic in the water. Once that's done, you got to heat your milk and butter up and then add the milk and butter and then throw some cheese in at the end. Put a little salt in there because potatoes are kind of bland. So I've got that. I've got some shallot. How can I do this? Shallot and garlic. And then I've chopped up my ribeye into really small pieces, and I floured that. Once again, it was pre-seasoned. Like I seasoned it before I floured it. And then I've got myself a hot pan, right? And I use bacon grease in there, right? So I'm going to put some bacon grease in there. I'm going to saute the garlic and onion, throw the meat in. The flour that's on here is going to thicken my base. And then I've got some stock gravy, some beef stock gravy. And then also some wine. I'm going to deglaze the pan with a little wine. That's going to thicken up my gravy. I've got a can of corn I had in my fridge, can of corn. So I'm going to put the corn in there. And then I'm going to layer it all up. So I'll come back when I'm cooking everything. And then once I layer it up, then all I got to do this afternoon is frickin' pop it in the oven and heat it all up, cook it nice and brown, and serve it to the kids. They're going to love it. They're going to love it, people. So I'll come back when I'm cooking. See you, bye. All right, listen, I'm back. So what I did was I added my steak to my really hot pan, right? And now I'm just putting a good sear on that. Once I got a sear started, I added my garlic and my onion to it. I'm going to cook that a little bit. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to end up hitting it with some red wine. My daughter made this wine at college. The college wine is coming out again. All this is good for is deglazing. Once again, at month 3 of coronavirus, you might drink this stuff, but at month, point, whatever it is, 3 weeks, we ain't drinking this. We're gonna add it to the dish. So once my steak cooks a little bit, I'm going to deglaze the pan with that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of beef stock. So we'll just see. We'll hit it. Right? All right. So cool. So you'll see I deglaze that pan. And you can tell it's already getting a little thick. You know, it's already getting a little thick. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to add a little beef stock in there. Once that wine cooks off, we're going to add a little beef stock in there, and that will be our gravy. So in our gravy, we're going to have, the hints of the red wine. We're going to have the hints of the garlic and the shallot. And then we're also going to have a little bit of beef stock, which will give us that beef flavor. which is more traditional gravy, you know. So we're going to add some beef stock in there, right? And one of the things about shepherd's pie, obviously, we don't want it to be like beef stew, right? We want it to be more like the meat is like almost lathered in the gravy, you know? And then once that reduces down, you see it's cooking a little bit. So once I get that reduced down a little bit, then I'll throw a layer of the corn on top, and then I'll throw, you know, the potatoes on top and make it look really nice. And then once that's done, we'll just pop it in the oven, probably this afternoon. We'll pop it in the oven, and when it comes out, I'll show you what it looks like. It's going to be amazing. Like, I think it's really going to be good, and the kids are going to love it. And it's going to be like, why am I doing this? I'm doing it because everything is so up right now that when you sit down with a nice warm meal with your family, like, it just makes everything safe and comfortable. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing it. I won't tell them that because they're freaking young kids, and now they'll be like, I don't want you. Anyway, so when I get all that done, I'll come back. You can, like, check it all out, see what it looks like coming out of the oven, and hopefully it's spot on, man. Hopefully it's really good. So thanks for whatever. Thanks for tuning in. All right, listen, I'm back real quick. So one of the things that happened was, if you look at it, right, I tasted it at home, right? And it was really gummy. Like, I got to tell you, like, it was a lot floury and it was really gummy. So I'm like, and it was a little tough, you know, with like shepherd's pie, there's usually like burger or something like that. Well, this ribeye, even though it's super tender, when I cooked it well done, it gets a little tough. So what I ended up doing, just so you know, is like I added, like if you look, right, I added a lot more of the beef stock. So what I'll do is I'll put the beef stock in there, and then I'll cook it for probably 20 minutes, which will break down the fibers a little. It'll get rid of a lot of that gluey, floury type stuff. And then obviously it'll be a bit more tender. So that's kind of what I did in the interim. I tasted it. It wasn't that great. So now I'm making it better. And it'll be awesome. So thanks a lot. See you, bye. All right, so I'm back. And one of the things that I realized, this is the first time I made this at home, folks. Like, first time I made this. So one of the things I realized is if you look, the moose meat is all nice. There's a nice little thick gravy. And what I realized is when I coated the meat, like, I put too much flour on it. So next time, I'm not going to put as much flour on the meat. So what I'm doing is at home, I'm adapting. I'm learning how to cook it next time. So do, you know, adjust, folks. Like, adjust. I never measure things. Like, never measure them. Even when I'm baking, sometimes I don't measure things. And baking, you're supposed to, you know. So anyway, I kind of just go by trial and error. Now I got it in my brain. I got it in my brain. Next time I won't put so much flour on the meat, and I won't have to reduce it down so much. So, because it is a little thick, you know, but regardless. So what I'll do is, let me see. All right, so I'm back. I keep hitting the frickin' button, people. Like, I hit the button, it stops the video. Like, I got to go back. You'll see, this one's going to be all chopped up. But you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to deal with it, just like I did. So what I'll do is, you know, I'll add the corn all around the top. And what I could do, you know, clearly what I could do is I could have made like whipped potatoes. See these potatoes? These potatoes are like mashed potatoes, you know. I could have whipped them and then piped them on there, and it would have been all pretty. But what I like to do, to be honest with you, is I like to make it rustic looking, you know. So if we have it, we'll flatten out our corn, we'll spread it around. And then what I do is I just like make it all rustic, you know, when it comes out. When it comes out, it'll be like I made it at home, like rustic, like homey, like, you know, so you'll see. So I'll just go around the whole thing like this. I'll fill in the gaps where I am. I'm in my kitchen. So anyway, I'll fill in the gaps, and then I'll pop it in the oven tonight, probably 425 on like convection, so the top gets nice and brown. When I pull it out tonight, I'll show you what it looks like. So Thanks for hanging with me today. All right, so here we are. I'm back. I got this thing. I got my finger in the way. I got all that stuff. So here it is right here. That's it in a nutshell. So that is high-end shepherd's pie with moose ribeye, corn, and cheesy potatoes. So what we'll do is we'll just get a little chunk of this out of here, and we'll put it on the pan. Doesn't look that good, to be honest with you. But that's it. There it is, right there. We'll have to see if the kids like it. It might be a fail. It might be a fail. Look at that. It's not the prettiest thing I made. Looks like slop, be honest with you. But we'll check it out and see. See ya!